Hello and welcome to another edition of Talkin' Tunes. I am your host, Frank Walsh. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you might remember about a month ago we had the privilege of taping the fantastic blues concert over at the Temple on Central Street in Stoughton. So since then, we've shown you a little bit of video from that show. And today, you are not only going to see some more video of some great performances, you are going to meet a couple of people who were instrumental in that show. You are going to see Vinnie Sereno, you are going to see Aaron Harp, and you are going to see the great Jason Ritchie. And I must tell you that the reason that we have this on film is because of my first guest over there to my right, Roxanne Morse. And Roxanne normally is behind the scenes, but today she is out in front. And a lot of the video that you are going to see and a lot of the editing that you are going to see is a result of Roxanne's efforts and very hard work. And I, for one, certainly appreciate it. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce Roxanne Morse.
Thank you, Frank.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, Frank.
And my other guest here is a rock and roll and blues fanatic who we met at the show, and she had the privilege of getting up on stage and actually performing with Jason Ritchie. You're not going to see that performance today, but stay tuned. You'll probably see it down the line. So I give you the great pleasure of meeting Amy Licht. Hi, Amy.
Hi. Thank you, Frank.
Welcome aboard. You
Thank
know
you
Roxanne.
very much. Yes.
Hi.
Yeah, I think I was standing behind you most of the show.
So Roxanne, let's get a first-hand perspective of your take on that night and what it was like to be up close and personal with those cameras and capture the images that we're going to see today.
Well, I have to tell you, Frank, it was amazing. This is the second time we've done this, and so I was really excited to go back. It's an awesome place to see a blues show at the Ahavath Torah Congregation.
Yeah.
And I was excited to see Vinnie again, and Vinnie and the Boston Baked Blues, they do an awesome job every time. They're just so great, and Vinnie's just such an awesome harmonica player. And all the other acts, what was cool is that they were all blues groups, but they really each had their own take on it. They each had their own style, their own personality. And it was just really nice just to hear those different types of styles of blues. And they could even, each of them could probably sing the same song and it'll just be a different take on it and it'd just be great, just as awesome. The musicianship was just phenomenal for the whole night. And then to top it off, to have Jason Ritchie on there, oh my God. I mean, he is just beyond anything, and he just blows your mind away with his playing. He makes that harmonica sound like something that has never been heard before. So
absolutely, even by his peers, and even Vinnie Sereno, who is one of the best in the world, even he is humbled listening to Jason Ritchie and says that nobody can compare to him. He
just really takes it to a whole new place, a whole new level. It's an experience. It's so much more an experience than it is just listening to great, virtuoso playing, but it's beyond that.
Absolutely. So. Amy, what was your take on it, being also up close and personal and getting to meet these guys? And I know that you have a particular fondness for Jason Ritchie and you get up there and sang. So why don't you give a little bit of your perspective of what it was like that night?
Well, it was a totally new thing to me. I was, just there as a guest of a friend, and, just seeing everyone interacting with each other, with everyone, it wasn't like this big superstar production. Everyone was really fantastically nice. And, when I saw Jason come in, the friend that I was with, we were outside, and, I decided to stay away from him because everyone was kind of like,
right,
chasing him down, and you could tell he was kind of like, okay, can I take a breath?
Right.
Which I totally understand. So I was outside getting some air between acts, and he ended up coming up to me, and we just started talking, and I thought he was just
a regular guy.
Yeah, regular guy. He's, you know, he was like, "Hey, your hair's really rad." I'm like, "Thanks." You know, so
That's rock and roll blues talk, folks.
It really is, yeah. And we kind of had like similar hairstyles going on,
Exactly,
except he was like one end of the spectrum, I was the other.
Yeah.
But you know, he ended up asking me to go up on stage with him. You know, he asked me if I sang, and I said, "Yep, kinda, yeah." And you know, I was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." And you
Next
know,
thing I know, you're up there.
next thing I knew, he was calling me up there, and I was like, "You were serious about that?" But it was a blast.
Well, good. Well, folks, one of the disadvantages of this show, I've said many, many times, is that it's only 30 minutes long. So sitting in the booth today for the lovely Roxanne is Dave Young. So Dave, if you have our first performer set and ready to go, folks, you are going to listen to the great Vinnie Serino and Boston Baked Blues.
A little blues, a roll on. Come on, get on that dance floor back there. My baby took a train a long way from home. Yeah, my baby took a train a long way from home. And she on the ride long way from home. My baby bought a ticket as long as my ride out. Yeah, my baby bought a ticket. Oh, that's my ride out. She on the ride long way from home. Well, hooked and tagging about everything I do. I know that you're all the target. train, long way from home. She's gonna ride long way from home. She's gonna ride long way from home. She's gonna ride long way from home.
Ladies and gentlemen, I tell you, it doesn't get any better than that. That was the great Vinnie Sereno and the Boston Baked Blues. And I tell you, it was nothing better than being up close and personal. So if you ever get a chance to go out and see them live in concert, as we have many times,
Yeah.
you just got a taste of probably 2.5 to 3 hour shows that they put on when they're out at the clubs and so forth. So get out there and see them. But, you know, we have another performer coming up. We had a great performer, Aaron Harp.
Yes.
And, you know, you're going to see a little bit of a different style, but you had some fun. You were rocking and rolling when you were filming Aaron, being up close, and you were jumping around in the back, you know?
Yeah, I was getting my groove on.
Yeah.
So,
So,
help
Dave Young in the booth, if you have a little taste of Aaron Harp queued up, let's listen to Aaron Harp and the Delta and
Delta Swingers.
the Delta Swingers.
We're gonna get a little funky. You ready?
Similar but different, you know, they're doing that same riff.
Give it up, 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 give it up.
Slow down, ladies. Slow down, ladies. I mean, I couldn't keep them still with all the rocking and rolling here, listening to the great Aaron Harp and the Delta Swingers. That was unbelievable. But you were just saying, as we were watching that you used to have the red hair, and you had a little bit of Aaron Harp in you as well?
I did, yeah. The person I went with to the Blues Fest, he had showed me the flyer beforehand and was like, look, it's your twin. I'm like, not anymore, but close. But yeah, I've had lots of different colors in my hair.
Cool.
But red was the mainstay for many years.
Very cool. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you probably know that as you watch these videos, there's a lot of editing and there's a lot of technical stuff that goes into that. And once again, I want to thank Roxanne for doing a lot of that work. And also,
thank you, Frank.
We would be remiss if we didn't mention our other two partners who were there that night.
Yes.
The lovely Laura Walsh and the beautiful
Yay, Laura.
Beverly Kander Dancy. And
Yay,
you know, they were going to be here today, but unfortunately they have other responsibilities. So we give a tip of the hat to both Bev and to Laura for their very hard work that night. It was a long night and everybody put in a lot of hours.
Yeah.
So having said that, for the sake of time, I think we need to go right into the featured performer.
Yes.
We're going to have to keep an eye on Amy here. You know, we're going to have to keep an eye on her. So, ladies and gentlemen, and you are going to be in for a great treat listening to Mr. Jason Ritchie.
Woo-hoo.
Baby, I'm just drifting, drifting. Yeah, honey, I'm just drifting, drifting. Honey, like a ship out on home. Honey, like a ship out on the sea. Baby, I'm just drifting, drifting. Yeah, honey, I'm just drifting and drifting. Just like a ship out on. Honey, just like a ship out on the sea. Well, every now and then I got you one day, one day. Honey, do you ever think of me? Baby, I think of you all the time. To love with you, honey. To love with you. Honey, for I even knew. Honey, for I even knew your name. To love with you. To love. Time for I even learned to call your name. Honey, I feel just the same. Well,
Wow.
Oh my God.
What do you say about that? I tell you, I mean, that may have been a little taste of Jason Ritchie, but I have to tell you, Greg Miller on the guitar, our
God.
friend. We see him all the time, and Greg is out and about. So if you want to see that live in person, please get out there and do that. But ladies, as we said, time flies, and we only have just about enough time for me to thank you both once again for coming on the
you.
show. Roxanne,
And-
this show wouldn't be what it is without you, and I say that
Fabulous,
sincerely, and you
fabulous.
know that.
Thank you,
And
Frank.
Amy, I hope that you come on sometime in the future and sing a little bit.
I definitely will.
Please do.
I
Thank
will.
you for coming on
Thank
today.
you
So,
for having
folks,
me.
for Dave Young in the booth, my two guests, I am Frank Walsh. As always, tune in and tune on.